Hi there everybody, this is David, and today we're going to be diving into some modern, underrated RPG hidden gems. You know, those ones that got like steamrolled by bad marketing, poor release timing, or just kind of like straight up ignored because they were indies or from a small studio or something like that. These here are the kinds of games that remind you why you fell in love with the genre in the first place. So whether you're like tired of like these soulless open worlds, or you just need something fresh that doesn't feel like it was made by like a stockholder committee, then stick around, because I've got 10 underrated RPGs that deserve way more love than they ever got. And hey y'all, if you've ever grinded out for a side quest at like 3 o'clock in the morning for a weapon that you didn't need just because it kind of like sparkled and it was great, consider giving this video a like and subscribing to the channel, because I've got tons more RPG content coming your way and I'd love to have you along for the ride. So now, let's get on into it. First up at number 10, we have Scarlet Nexus, released on the PS4, PS5, Xbox, and PC. This is a really neat action RPG that kind of flew under the radar. Right from the get-go, you have the choice between a male and a female protagonist, each with different combat abilities, partners, and completely different storylines, which does make for some great replay value. Then, you have your telekinetic powers to defeat your enemies with. Yeah, you can combo your sword attacks together to kill them, but the real fun comes with the psychic powers, which you can use constantly to fling all sorts of crap right into your enemies' faces. You'll be like throwing cars, tanks, concrete blocks, barrels, and all sorts of other junk. It's so satisfying. I kind of felt like I was like one of the X-Men, where everybody like gets together and uses all their cool powers. It was so neat. Not only that, but the graphics are absolutely beautiful. And the story's told in like a visual novel sort of style, but it's really similar to those skits in Tales of Arise or Phantasy Star 4, like a comic book. There is just nothing not to like here. Number 9. The Diofield Chronicle, released for the PS4, PS5, Nintendo Switch, Xbox, and PC. This here is one of the best real-time strategy RPGs to come out in recent memory, especially if you're a fan of old-school games like the Ogre Battle or the Growlancer series. But unfortunately, it was a victim of Square Enix's whole like, let's release 10 games in 2 months, what could possibly go wrong? Business failure. So that, of course, you know, it flew under the radar too. Here, you move your troops along lines, and then they automatically attack whenever they reach the enemy. So, in a way, you're more like the tactician, controlling their movements and using their skills as needed. It can be pretty fun, especially because of the various obstacles that all the maps have, as well as the different strategies that you can employ. The story is really fun, because what starts off as like a normal political intrigue storyline quickly evolves into a morality tale around demonic arts and one of the most evil, bitchiest party members I've ever had the pleasure of seeing. Number 8. Cosmic Star Heroine, released for the Nintendo Switch, PS4, Xbox, and PC. A sci-fi RPG that's not a jank fest and is actually inspired by the greats like Phantasy Star 4 and Chrono Trigger? Where do I sign up? Taking place in a futuristic landscape filled with spies, robots, and rock stars, this is a modern take on a medieval classic, and a damn good one too. Your adventure follows Alyssa as she traverses through 3 different planets, recruits 11 different party members, and fights on-screen encounters with no grinding necessary, and there's kind of like a Suikoden take on the spaceship too, because you can like go around to all these different planets and recruit NPCs to go back up on the ship and like set up your shop and all that kind of cool stuff. There's a ton of heart packed in this tiny gem, and because you can beat it on like a rainy weekend, it's not that long, so it does respect your time, and it's a fun little pick up and play RPG. Number 7. Nayuta Boundless Trails, released for the Nintendo Switch, PS4, and PC. I do not care that this is a spin-off that may or may not be related to the rest of the Trails series, because truth be told, it may very well be my favorite game in the entire Trails series just because it's so different. It's not a turn-based RPG. They don't talk about nothing for forever and a day. There's no boob conversation, and there's no high school in sight, thank God. Instead, this is an action RPG, and kind of like a Metroidvania one at that. You play as Toa's grandfather, Nayuta Herschel, exploring a world called Lost Heaven, which consists of 4 continents, but the seasons are like out of whack. And once you clear the continents and restore it to its original season, you can go through the stages again and find more hidden secrets. There's tons of objectives to accomplish in each stage, which does help keep the game fresh, and I really do think that you're going to enjoy this one as much as I have. Number 6. Harvestella, released for the Nintendo Switch and PC. Whenever I first heard about this game, I thought to myself that it was just going to be like another Harvest Moon, Stardew Valley, or Rune Factory clone, but thank God it's not. Instead, this is its own thing, and it's really something special. Playing much more like Secret of Mana rather than anything resembling a farming sim, this is a keeper. Farming and crafting are definitely there, don't get me wrong, but it's not the focus. The real focus is on exploring beautiful, seasonally themed environments, getting to know all the quirky inhabitants of the world, and experimenting with all the different job classes available to you. This beautiful game tells a captivating tale of love and loss, and it's not something that you'll forget soon, so you wrap yourself up with this on a cozy night at home. Number 5, 8-Bit Adventures 2, released for the PS4, PS5, Xbox, Nintendo Switch, and PC. Call me old-fashioned, I really don't care because, I am old. I grew up on the NES with games like these, and truth be told, though, this is much more advanced than any NES game I ever played. It's kind of like the NES meets the SNES, with some modern quality of day-of-life improvements, but it's still super cool. Because it features everything that I know and love, like random encounters, turn-based battles, a world map to explore, traditional dungeons, tons of treasures, and a robust equipment system that isn't just your bare-bones weapons and accessories like they do nowadays. This game is just chasing after my own childhood, and I am totally here for it. Number 4, Monochrome Mobius Rights and Wrongs Forgotten, released on the PS4, PS5, and PC. Talk about a game that really deserved so much more than what it got. A whole lot of people thought that since this was related to the Utaware Ramono series, that it was going to be a visual novel, or they just had no clue what in the world it was and they just passed it up because, good lord, look at that name. This, though, is fantastic, and it would have been a bestseller if more people just knew about it. It just needed more marketing. Just think, it has a Grandia-based turn-based combat system with open regions filled to the brim with treasures and on-screen encounters, tons of lively full towns, side quests galore and secrets to find, not to mention a lovable cast of characters and a really imaginative world. This could very well be the definition of a hidden gem. Like I said, with just a little bit more marketing, this could have hit like Octopath Traveler 2 level sales, because quite honestly, it is up there with that fantastic game. Number 3, Dragon Quest Monsters: The Dark Prince, released on the Nintendo Switch, PC, and mobile platforms. I have always thoroughly enjoyed the Dragon Quest series, and Dragon Quest IV is one of my favorites among them, and I love this new take on the old Monsters formula, now with fully fleshed out worlds as well as a storyline that ties into the mainline game. Rather than seeing all the events of the game from the hero's point of view, you see the world from the villain's point of view, and you get to explore much more of the underworld, with each echelon housing its own unique monsters, tons of treasures, towns, and dungeons, not to mention they all change with the seasons too. There's just so much here. And I love this new direction that the Monster series is going in, where treasures expanded on the backstory of 11 with Eric and Mia, now this is expanding on the backstory of 4. This here is a masterclass in how spin-off series should be done. Number 2, Crystal Project, released on the Nintendo Switch and the PC. This here is a real gem of an indie game, and I honestly haven't played anything quite like it. It's essentially what would happen if you took The Legend of Zelda, mashed it up with 3D Game Heroes, as well as Final Fantasy V. This here is a completely open world game where you control 4 warriors of light, then you go off exploring the open world, beating bosses and lighting up crystals, which gives you more jobs, just like in Final Fantasy V. The battles are turn-based and each region is distinctly beautiful and fun to traverse. The exploration is top-notch, as you explore open regions and fight turn-based battles, collect crystals to unlock new jobs, and go from town to outfit your team. I mean, really, it's kind of shocking that a game like this hasn't been done before, because this genre twist would just be groundbreaking. And finally, number 1, Chained Echoes, released for the Nintendo Switch, PS4, PS5, Xbox, and PC. Maybe some of y'all out there have heard about this game, but I do think that it's time for a reminder. I mean, we all know that there was just a never-ending deluge of shitty-ass RPGs that come out every single day over on the Steam. But this here bucks that trend, as it evokes a 90s era and truly channels Final Fantasy III goodness. It hits all the nostalgia notes in the right ways while still being its own thing. The bonus board allows for tons of challenges, there's a class system, skill trees, hidden areas, a gripping storyline, and most badass of all, you get to control mechs, where you can fly across the screen that you could only previously run across. With the new added quality of life features that came out a couple of months ago too, this is just what the doctor ordered. So that's it for all the modern day underrated RPGs that I really think that everybody needs to give a try to. So I want to ask, have you played these games before? And also, what other RPGs do you think flew under the radar that more people need to give a chance to? Let me know in the comments and let's all talk and chat about it. And if you did like this video, here's another video going over some great RPGs that I really do think that you will enjoy. So please do check that out, and as always, have a good day.